really look at a lot of annotations to be done. Now he says either I'll have a lot of people or I'll use AI algorithms to do that. Okay. Fundamentally, I think it's a great idea. Now, anybody starts like this, the next level of question I have is, do you know today in the world, are there any companies doing what you already thinking? This is where you start validating your idea. Whether it is yes or no, it's a thing. Now, my question is, in the entire world, nobody has thought about it. You're the only person who got the idea. So, some people would have thought about it. Are they doing something about it? Sure, they must be doing. So, they have taken the idea stage to MVP stage. I believe people have moved from MVP to actual production also. Now, if you start a thing, I'm sure it will work, but you should first know what the other people are doing. So, this is called idea validation stage one, to know that if you are doing something, has somebody else also done it or are they doing it? Which does not mean that you should not do it. You should do it better, cheaper, faster, or differently. Like, for example, Swiggy came first or Zomato came first, but Swiggy still came, right? Amazon was there, Flipkart still came, right? There are at least 200 spectacle shops in this town. Lenskart still came, right? But when your idea is there to do something which already exists, you have to do it either cheaper, faster, better, or differently. So it is okay to do or pick up any business idea of your choice, but it should meet this criteria. So if Lenskart is there, if in theory all of us, there are 4,000 students in Kite, everybody brings 1 lakh. 4,000 into 1 lakh each. We can build another Lenskart, right? That's a lot of money. But will it be different? Will we deliver it faster? Will it be a better quality? That is the validation stage of your idea. So any idea is good, but you will say, I want to do a cosmetics. Why? Nika is there, na? You will do better than Nika? Probably yes, but tell me how. So any idea in this room when you come back from lunch is acceptable. Any idea is acceptable, but tell me why and how it will be better than an existing one. Red bus is there. Let us say my grandfather is from the transport business. He already has 100. Now I want to become yellow bus. Is it different? Is it better? Is it a different experience it can give? Is it cheaper? Does it have some technology which Redbus doesn't have? Is what I am going to ask you, is what Mr. Viswam is going to ask you, is what any funding agency in the world will ask you. Why are you doing something which has already been done? Again, any answer is right answer, but you should have an answer. So it is very important from an ideation standpoint that when you have any idea, if it is a absolutely new idea, it never existed in the world, then say, hey, interesting. Immediately go to the building the minimum viable product. But if you have an idea for which existing players are there or similar players are there, you have to think 100 times before you even build an MVP. You should not build an MVP. You all know how Oyo works. You all know how Instagram works. If I am willing to give you $1 million, which is about 9 crores, Why will you build an Instagram without giving an answer? Is it different? Is it better? Is it faster? Is it cheaper? Will it make more money? So the idea stage, when you come back from lunch, we'll do this exercise. We'll small break up into small groups. This is why the ideation stage is the most difficult one. Give me any one more example before I move on to other slides. Any other startup? He said annotation. Give me any one idea from this side. Madam, you tell me, what was your idea? Travel. Hmm. Okay, fair enough. So the idea is that somebody said they will do flavored soda. Soda is typically, we have plain soda as well as lime soda, but now we will have. So if you have to do a startup and not a business, if you want to do a startup, you have to spend a lot of time in asking in India, or at least in one complete state of Andhra Pradesh or Telangana, how many people drink sodas? How many people drink how many sodas in a month? How much does it cost to make a soda? How much does it cost to transport a soda? How much does it cost to refrigerate a soda? Then how much will I sell the soda for? Then will I have a margin after that? How will it go? Let us say you put some numbers on Excel sheet and show me that it will sell so and so. That means what does it take to take it from Andhra to Gujarat to Bihar to Kashmir? This is why ideation stage is difficult. Probably that's a great idea, but we need to sit and think. All ideas look great. It's like babies, no? It's my baby, it's my idea, it's the best idea in the world. But you should really spend time in validating, will this work? Why will this work? So you have to spend a lot of time in that. While you're doing the ideation, one of the things which is very, very important is to understand the market research part. You typically understand that, is there a demand for such a project? Will people buy it? Will people buy it at the price point which, suppose if the cost of my soda is 10 bucks, but the Goli soda in most places is about 3 to 5 bucks. How many people are willing to pay the 10 bucks more? How much is an, let's say, a average movie ticket in Kakinada? Huh? Between 150 to 200 approximately. If I create the most amazing movie theater in Kakinada, because I traveled all over the world, I know how good movie theaters look like and so on and so forth. I have the money, I build, but now the price is 450 rupees per ticket. Will students come? World's best experience, air conditioning, smell, the light, marble floor, the carpet, the seats, you can sink into it. Best product. I did market study, it worked in Paris. So the market research is what you have to do. Is it something which works in the domain or the geography which you're working? Will it work at a certain price point? Will it work within the scenarios of the competition? Let us say, no, 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 students won't come, but people, families will come. When I build this thing, somebody else builds another one, which will only be at 350 rupees, exactly the same. What, where will people go? For a 350. Okay. Let us say that I will also bring down my price to 350. Now there are two theaters. Same movie, Mahesh Babu movie, day one. Now, typically, day one, 1,000 people used to go to one place. Now, they will split into two. Have you thought about these scenarios? So, market research, who are the competitors in the place? What exactly is the customer wanting, and why are you launching that product? If I say that if you drink a Goli soda, I'm just telling, you will get better marks in your exams. It's a claim. There's no truth in that. So just before exams, I put up a Goli soda stand outside right and start selling. First exam you go, one day batting, you get zeros. Will you buy my product for the second time? I will get Mahesh Babu to do the advertising. Will you buy? Goli soda is really the best Goli soda. It tastes fantastic. Just 100 rupees. So advertising, marketing. So it did not solve a problem. So basically, we are trying to do in market research, what is the problem or what is it that the customers want for which you have launched a product? If we have an idea, before the idea starts taking shape, we need to keep beating ourselves till the end. Till we find a solid reason saying that nobody is doing it or nobody is doing the way I thought we should do. Hence, we will move forward. One of the things about choosing an idea, we will speak a little more when we do the exercise on the chart papers post lunch. Any idea you choose, like I chose EdTech. I wanted to build a platform where people learn how to code. Why not? Why didn't I do cosmetics? Why didn't I do selling Hyderabadi biryani because I am from Hyderabad? Why didn't I sell fish in cans? Why didn't I sell bread? Why didn't I sell lipstick? Because one of the things of any startup is, unlike business, if your father tells, hey, let us start a steel trading business, it's a business, right? Do you ever get up in the morning? I want to sell steel today. Never do that, no? But in startups, you do that because that's what you want to do. So you should choose an idea which you are very passionate about. Businesses you don't need to be passionate about. I know somebody in Kakinada who has a bore machine which you put drill into the earth and it water comes out and you put bore wells. Do you think he gets up in the morning? I will do bore wells today. I love doing bore wells. But Piyush Bansal, who is Lenskart, I love my company. I want it to be pan India. I want everybody in India to buy my spectacles. Deepinder Goyal of Zomato. I met him a few months ago in some conference. Vasu, I want every Indian at least once or twice a week, they should open up a Zomato app and order. I dream, I dream about it every day. Physics wala. I want every student in India to at least subscribe for one channel and one course. I dream about it every day. Why is there a difference? I'm not saying business people are not passionate, but why are startup people passionate? Because you really want to solve some problem and your entire life should be revolving around solving that problem. So, how do you choose the right idea? Is after validation, but you should be really passionate about it. For example, I have a great idea to sell insurance product for old people. I'm sure none of you people want to join in that startup with me. If I do a tech, if I do a gaming one, if I do a cosmetics, at least 5 people from this room will come and join me. Why? You're passionate about the domain or the subject or the topic. Passion is very important. You need to test and validate. Don't commit without testing it. Do your research and follow the principles of startups, which I've been telling you about. ठीक है. What time is the lunch break? 1. ठीक है. So it is 5 to 12. We will meet at exactly 12:05. 10-minute break. ठीक है. Exactly at 12:05, we will start the thing. What are the different kinds of startups? If you know this, then you will come back post lunch and we'll do that exercise. So 10 minutes break, exactly at 12:05, we'll meet again. Hello. All right. Very quickly, this is slightly theoretical, but you need to know. And the reason I'm spending some time on theory, I hate theories myself. I don't like theory. But the post lunch exercise which you're doing, I'm going to ask you what type of a startup is it your idea is in. So for you, startup is a startup, right? No, no, no. There are different types of startups. As I said, each startup has its own business model, revenue model, scaling model, and so and so. So very quickly, I'm going to share with you what are the broadly, there might be more than this, but broadly, what are the types of startups? And every startup that you think of will fall under one of these types of categories. If you have an idea and you don't know which category, please go to Chat GPT, tell it that this is the idea, this is what I want to do. What kind of a type of startup does it fall under? And I'm sure it will tell you. And the reason why this concept is needed is because I hope at least 10 people in this room do some startups, take it to the next level. The first level of funding this college will do, then hopefully if it grows, then you can raise funds very quickly. The first type of startup is called direct to consumer. People know this company called Boat, right? So they manufacture something, they make it, of course, they bring it from China. It's called Bose headphones, Bose earphones, whatever it is. Do they have a ever shop called Boat Electronics? Did you ever see? Why? Because their model is called D2C. If you manufacture something or you make something, you brand it as your own and directly sell it to consumers. It is called B2C. Warby Parker is something equivalent to it's in the US. In India, it is Lenskart. Lenskart makes its own spets. They have their own factory in Noida, which makes lenses. And you go www.lenskart.com and it is sold directly. They also have stores, but I'm telling you the example of D2C is from the factory website, you buy it. This is called a direct to consumer startups. They sell directly to consumers. They don't have retailers, wholesalers, and all that. To make direct to consumer ideas, the reason is post lunch, you have to tell me which model does your startup fall in. If it is reaching the consumers directly using websites, social media, and so on and so forth, this is called a D2C. Why does a good example? Why does a company do direct to consumers and not put shops? Why doesn't a company like Boat Electronics not put shops? Why? Why does it come directly? One reason is what's there in this. They want to talk and reach and be in touch with the customer directly. If I sell this to a shop and the shop sells it to him, me as a manufacturer and a producer of that, I do not know you. I don't know you, right? Were you happy when you bought it? Did you smile? Will you buy again? Did I ask you questions? So, direct to consumers are D2C brands are those people who want to have create the brand and direct connect with the customers. When you buy directly, they know when you bought, how you bought, you liked it, survey form and stuff like that. And this is the kind one example where if you have an idea, you can be a D2C brand. The second category is software as a service. This specific session, which we are all in, is on Zoom now. Zoom company. What does Zoom do? live casting, video conferencing facility. Did so, right? Somebody bought the Zoom license, is using Zoom license to webcast my session to somebody else or somebody online. So, Zoom company built a software. Do they sell the software off? Take this, all my code in a CD, take it in a hard drive. Software as a service. One example is Zoom. There are 100 examples of the software as a service. So if you are building any software which people will either pay rent or hire or they will give you some license fee, that kind of a business where software is shared with other people on a monthly subscription, yearly subscription, whatever it is called a software as a service. So if any one of you has an idea about building a software and renting that software to other people, it comes under this category. I hope you people are writing it down, because when you come post lunch, you have to tell me on which category your thing falls. Marketplace startups. What is a marketplace? Do you people know there is this company called Airbnb? Have you ever heard of it? Have you heard of this OLX? What is OLX? Perfect. So it is a place, it's called a marketplace where buyers and sellers come. I want to sell this, somebody wants to buy this. But where do I put this that I want to sell this? This is one example. There are hundreds of such companies. So if you are building a website where people who want to sell and people who want to buy can meet, and by buying and selling, I make a small piece of commission. So on OLX, if you go, you will most probably say there is some, let us say, a old mobile phone is available. It is owned by you. I want to buy it. Who owns the mobile? You. Who wants to buy? Me. What does OLX get? A commission. So if you have a startup idea where buyers and sellers can come, it can be anything. There are hundreds of websites. There are websites where they're looking for freelance coding people. So I know how to code. Somebody in Japan or Germany or Rajasthan or wherever somebody needs me to build a small website. So I say I am available. He says he has a need. We both decide on a price, whatever it is. A small commission goes to the website. So this is the characteristics of a typical marketplace startup. So this is one of the categories of a startup where the idea somebody was talking about. There are people who want to be freelance guides. I'm a guide in Tirupati. I'm a guide in Hyderabad. Somebody who is coming from Ahmedabad, but I am available. So my name is there, my photo is there, and so on and so forth. So what your model is, it's a marketplace model. So why this wording and terminology is very important. You should say the name of my company is whatever XYZ. I am building a marketplace for people to get guides in different cities. That is how you explaining your sentence in a sentence or two is very important. I don't think we need any explanations of this. The typical is that there are physical products online through their own website or third party platforms. They do. The most important thing in this is when you go to a e-commerce website, you should have a very large inventory of things, whether it is books or pens or mobile phones or anything. Some of them are Amazon owned, they're called Amazon Basics. But other than that, 90%, 95% of them are not owned by Amazon and Flipkart. Somebody else, somebody called Luxury is there, somebody called Samsung is there. They just sell products for other people. If they are doing that, Amazon and Flipkart are the world's largest examples. This model in which you create a platform where people come to sell their products and people are willing to come to the website to buy, that's called a e-commerce type of a thing. People know Netflix, Amazon Prime. What do they do? You subscribe. There are hundreds of examples. I'm only giving one. If you have a model where people will come and subscribe for some service, it need not be Netflix. It's one example is Netflix. Is if you pay a monthly subscription, yearly subscription, and they provide some service on a yearly, monthly basis, and so on and so forth. That model is called subscription based startup model. So, software, for example, my laptop works on Microsoft MS Office. I pay 6,150 rupees per year to use the MS Office, Word, Excel, PPT, and so on and so forth. This PPT is on a licensed version of MS Office. Microsoft is selling me, and their model is subscription based. So if you ask Mr. Satya Nadella, he says, hey, we sell Microsoft suite of products on a subscription basis. And when people use that and subscribe, we make money. So typically software and gym, you know, gym, right? You can go to a gym, Gold Gym, this gym, that gym, Cult, subscription based. You pay something, you subscribe for it as long as the subscription is valid. So if your startup is based on subscription, and this is it, and this is what something which falls under this category. Fintech startups. Everybody knows Paytm, right? What do? You can pay, you can send money, and there are a host of other services. And when you do that, either through you or through other means, they take a commission or they make money out of it. And if your startup idea is based on a financial transaction, such as payments happen, lending happens. Lending means you can lend money and you can borrow money. You can buy insurance online and stuff like that. This payments, lending, investing, insurance, and so, demat accounts, all these things come under the category of fintech startups. Paytm is there in the US and sorry, Paytm India, and Stripe is a equivalent company there. This is one of the hottest trending sectors in the startup space. And have you people heard about something called Zerodha? ZDRODHA. Write it down and do some research on that. It's one of the hottest fintech startups which we have based out of Bangalore. Of course, you have edtech startups. There are hundreds of them. Typically, is that we provide some learning solutions to people. It can be to individuals, students, corporates, senior citizens. It can be even you can do guitar, learn guitar, how to bake a cake, how to do some paintings, all that things. If you're teaching some skill, it comes under edtech. And right from school to hobby to play school uh, to post graduation, there are so many edtech startups. And if you are able to provide a service, and that service you can charge some money, and this in exchange of that money some skill or tutoring is done or online courses are done, it falls under the edtech startup. There are hundreds of companies again in the AI DTech space. So this is the biggest thing which is happening in the market today. So anything to do with AI, ML, robotics, machine learning stuff, if your startup is using any of these technologies to solve some problem and the customer is willing to pay you for that, your startup is considered as an AI and a deep tech startup. Now, there are very interesting startups in the social impact. So there is this social startup called Goonj. They recycle the waste which is coming out from urban cities, and they recycle. And their idea of creating the startup is to make sure that the waste recycling is done well. There are hundreds of other websites. There's a website called Kitto, Ketto, and if somebody I know needs money and they don't have money, I can go to the website, put their medical history, whatever it is, and ask people for donation. So any idea or a thought which you have which has a social impact, which will solve some social problem, it might be environmental problem, health problem, whatever it is, if it falls into that category, your category of your startup is called social impact. So these are, and there are another 20 more categories. The reason I was showing you this is that when you talk to me, to your friends, to your neighbors, or anybody next time, you should say, my idea is this. It falls under an e-commerce category of a startup. My idea is this. It falls under a health tech. My startup idea is this. It falls under the category of fintech. I have an idea which falls under a category of edtech. You, as engineering students or startup entrepreneurs, should be able to articulate. If in the first 20 seconds, if you cannot tell me what your edtech startup is, if you ask me, Vasu, what was your edtech startup? Sir, I created a platform called edis.com. It is an edtech platform where people learn coding skills while in college to get their first job. It took 10 seconds. You understood what I was trying to tell you? That is how you should talk. You cannot make you cannot speak to me for 5 minutes and I keep asking you questions. What's your startup? What's your startup? What does it do? It should explain. So I told EdTech, Edist is an EdTech platform to learn coding skills for engineering students to get their first software job. So I know it's EdTech. I know it's a platform. That means it's a technology driven. I know it's for students. I know what is the end problem it solves to help them get a job. So this is how you should be able to speak and explain the terminology or the category of your startup. All right. So this is just a summary because, and this is not very small summary. There can be hundreds of. We didn't speak about cyber security. We didn't speak about real estate. We didn't speak about robotics. We didn't speak about agri-tech. Oh, agri-tech is another big thing. Anything to do with green agriculture is agri-tech. So if you have some idea, some startup idea in that, you should say, my startup is this. It is in the agri-tech space and it does this for this. And the benefit of this is this. That is how you should be able to speak. So this is just a summary of the startup domains or industries to give you idea so that when you come back post lunch, choose one of these or some of something else also, but pick up a category in which you want to solve a problem for somebody. And that is a startup which will follow your startup phases right from ideation to exit, right? All right. So, yeah, we spoke. This is just a summary once again. So, if you are a founder, one of the things a lot of people ask is, sir, what makes a good founder? What are the skills or competencies I need to be a good founder? It's a difficult question because unlike a job in TCS or a Wipro or Infosys, What will make you a good software engineer is if they put you on a Java project, do good Java programming, and that's what is a success. Unfortunately, if you are a startup founder, you need to have a lot of rounded skills. Now you will say, how is it possible that I will do coding, I will do marketing, I will do legal, I will do sales marketing, I will do analytics? Great question. In all this broad set of skills which I'm talking about, you should be extremely good in one or two categories. You can be a very, very good coder and a great marketing person, a great marketing person and a great digital domain person. You can be somebody who's very, very good at vision and then product also. But you should have a flair and understanding of the other things also. I will say, sir, why should I know everything? If you and I start a startup, you are good at coding, I'm good at marketing, but I also need somebody who will take who relationship with customers, somebody who will be a leader, somebody who will do negotiations and deals, somebody. So how is it that when we are not good or we are not aware of these things, how can we tell others to do? Oyo founder Ritesh Agarwal is a very young boy, correct? But people who are 30, 40, 50 years old report to him. How can they report to him? He broadly knows finance, he broadly knows legal, he broadly knows negotiation skills, he broadly knows technology, broadly. That is why a founder's job is extremely all consuming and it is more difficult than most jobs. Job is very easy, one or two skills, competencies you should have, do it very well. And as you become a leader, a broader set of skills you develop. But as a startup founder, suppose you have a great idea to, let us say, to build an AI ML product, but you want me to go and sell this to people in the US. So you should know how to sell in US, what is the taxes in US, what is the tax filing there and tax filing here, what is the export import duty which we have to pay. But you don't know, right? But you want me to sell it in the US. So broadly, you need to know. So this is just a kind of a rounded view of saying that you cannot tell that I will only do coding, I will not do anything else. I don't care. As an employee, you can say that, but as a startup founder, you cannot say that. Suppose you want to, I'm just saying, you want to put a fleet of buses. If I press a button, I will know where your bus is, air conditioned bus, and I can book a seat. You need to know about what is the rules and regulations of the Road Transport Authority, RTA department. You need to know, right? Then if something happens, accident happens to the bus and the passengers are hurt or they die, you need to know how the insurance works. You can't say, no, no, I will develop an app. It will have a red button. It will have a blue button. It will show you number of seats. You need to know legal thing. Okay. Then to buy a bus, you need to do finance. So you will go to Bank of Baroda. You will go to some other bank. You need to know how bank loans work. You can know, sir, I will only develop the app. In startups, you cannot say these things. You have to learn a lot of skills. You will say, I will develop the app. I know finance. I know banking. I know insurance. I will develop the app, but I will not go and do marketing. You have to go and sell. As a founder, you don't have a sales team, right? In my startup, EdTech startup, for the first 1.5 years, we didn't have a sales guy. I was the sales guy, CEO and sales. We didn't have a person. We were hiring people. There is no HR. I was CEO and HR. Then I have to give an offer letter. I need to know how to make an offer letter. I need to process salaries. So I am a salary payment guy. So as a startup guy, you need to have very rounded skills. This is when you don't need to be an expert in everything, but you need to broadly know. If you don't know, you should at least know what questions to ask, right? So this is the kind of a roundup about what skills of founders are required. I'll share this PPT. It's basically what networking, how to do product development, and so on and so forth. One thing is there, irrespective whether you are a tech person, you are a person with money, you have people who will do. One thing which a founder and a startup owner has to do, we call it founders, is sell. The reason why founders have to be good at selling is when suppose you join TCS or Wipro or you join any big company, you join a Honda, you join an MG Hector, the company is such a big organization that they will tell you what to sell, how to sell, at what price point to sell. As a startup founder, your product is not mature. You're one of the many products which are available in the market. People have to know what the product is all about. You have to learn how to express yourself in clear ways why people should buy. So I used to go to colleges like Kite. I went to Kite. I went to Pragati. I went to Aditya. We sold Edist. But I, as a founder of the company, should sit in front of the director or chairman and say, sir, why you should use Edist platform for your students? Then explain. So the ability to sell is very, very important. And hence I am telling when I'm asking you questions, if you are so shy that you are not even able to answer me, how will you sell your products or services? So the ability to communicate, ability to do marketing, ability to promote, ability to meet customers is something which you have to really, really do. One question I get asked is, do I need to be a really good coder to be a startup founder? For example, the EdTech startup, I was not coding, my co-founder was coding. But you should know enough of technology so that when you sit with your tech team, you know what they're talking about and some decisions are being made. Should we develop the platform on Java or Python? It's a tech decision. But when they make the tech decision, I should at least have a flair to understand why we chose Python. In Python, should we use a Django framework or a Flask? It's interesting. That's a tech decision by the tech people, but I should have enough understanding why we chose a Python Flask framework. Should we use a Postgres database or a MongoDB? That is a tech decision, but at least I should know what are the repercussions or pros and cons of doing that. So it ideally helps, especially all the people in this room, if you are good with technology or proficient with technology, while you might not be the biggest coder, it really helps. It really, really helps if you are also a coder because you don't have to pay anybody to build your website and platforms. So my co-founder and I, we built the first platform with zero money because my co-founder Anik was from Triple IT Hyderabad and he could code the entire website on his own and we paid zero money to anybody. So it makes sense for you to be tech savvy. If you are not even aware of it, we are in trouble. But if you are aware and you can do some kind of coding, you can really, really launch products very fast. Okay. So, yep. So I will stop here. We'll talk about it post lunch. I will give you a break. Go for early lunch. We'll catch up. What time do you come back? Lunch is from 1 to 1:30. Say something here. 2 o'clock. So it is 12:30. Can you come back by 1:45? 1? I'll see you all at 1:45. But what you're going to do at 1:45, I'll tell you so that for the next 1.5 hours, you have some time to think. This room we are breaking up into groups. Each group will decide at a very high level. I will not go down and start questioning too much. You will think of a product or a solution, tech or non-tech, your wish. You will tell this is what we're trying to build. This is our basic idea. And because all of you have mobile phones, if you say, I want to do cosmetics, I will ask you who are the competitors. Before I ask you, you should tell me, sir, I want to do something in specific in this cosmetics, and the five competitors we have is so and so and so and so. You want to do something in travel. You have to say, sir, my competitors are Make My Trip, Clear Trip, Is My Trip, and Agoda. However, the differentiating factor is this. So what we're going to, I'll tell you the rules of the game when you come back. So each team will use chart papers to do a life cycle conceptually from an idea. And then I'm going to ask you who's going to be your customer. Is it a student? Is it a rich man? Is it a poor man? Is it a person in Kashmir? Is it a person in US? You will have to define who your customer is. Then you're going to tell approximately what is the price it's going to be. Most important thing, you're going to tell me how are you going to market your product. Right? So when you break into a team, one person will focus on the idea, one person will focus on the marketing, one person will focus on the price, and they will put it all together. And one person from each team will broadly showcase and tell us what it is. Today, when you're leaving for the day, I will give you a much more robust way of presenting this tomorrow. Okay, done. We'll see you at 1:45. Right. Thank you.